Hello, it's been a hot minute. It's been a couple of weeks since I've uploaded a video, and I won't apologise for life stuff going on and needing to take a bit of a break, but I will say I've really missed you. It's been a bit of a crap start to 2025, if I'm honest. A couple of weeks ago my dog was having a lovely time running around in the woods, as he does, and unfortunately he broke his leg. It was a really nasty break, and he needed surgery, but the local emergency vet that we took him to gave him pain management that made him sick, and so by the time he was referred to specialists and was in front of the surgeon, unfortunately at some point he'd inhaled some of his sick, and that caused him to have pneumonia. So his lungs weren't strong enough for an operation, so he had to stay in doggy intensive care for a week or so before they could operate. So all that to say, it's been a horrid fortnight. But he's now home. He came home on Friday and today is Monday, and whilst he's got a lot of rehabbing to do and we need to take things very steady day at a time, he's doing really well, all things considered, and we're trying to get back to a little bit of a sense of normality. So here I am. I'm going to do a sort of what this week, but as I'm sure you appreciate, it's been a bit of a weird time, and so I've not been I've been away from home. The hospital, the vets that he was staying at was about an hour and 3/4 away from where we live. They're extraordinary. He had the best care, I cannot tell you. He was so well looked after, and I wouldn't have wanted him to be anywhere else. He was just so well looked after. The vets and the nurses and everybody there at Willows in Solihull are just extraordinary people, and they worked absolute magic to look after him and get him well and home. But I am just about holding it together. I've had about sort of 48 hours where I haven't cried. I've started wearing eyeliner again. I had to stop wearing eyeliner. I started wearing eyeliner again yesterday, so maybe I should stop talking about it, otherwise I'll get upset again. But yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful, and if you're somebody that does that job, you're magic. They're just the most incredible people, and I'm beyond grateful for their talent and hard work and dedication and care and love and compassion and all of those good things that they showed to Brennan and to me. We've both been very well looked after. Anyway, we're not crying, we're feeling better. So what I was saying was, so he was a little way away from home, so I actually went up and stayed in an Airbnb close by so that I could go in and visit when he was super poorly. So I was away from home and not really in the frame of mind to kind of enjoy things particularly. Definitely didn't have the concentration for reading with my eyeballs. I have done little to no reading with my eyeballs. But there have been some things that have really helped, so that's what I wanted to kind of like share with you today. So I'll try and follow the same format, talking about what I've been reading and listening to and watching, and you know, a couple of other bits that I found have been really helpful, and then I hope we'll get back to some sort of sense of normality and routine for all our sakes. So in terms of what I've been reading, like I said, I've not really been in the frame of mind to be reading with my eyes, but I have been up for audiobooks. Audiobooks have been an absolute lifesaver. I've been doing quite a lot of driving back and forth, so yeah, they've been a really great and welcome distraction. So the first one that I opted to listen to was Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is the new Grady Hendrix. Didn't intend to pick it up so quickly, but when I was trying to work out what I needed or what I wanted to listen to, I wasn't I didn't want to kind of go for something too comforting because I was very kind of like in quite an emotional state, but also didn't want anything too heavy. Grady Hendrix books I've always really enjoyed for their kind of tongue-in-cheek take on horror. He has a kind of like camp way of writing horror, which has usually got elements of humour in it, but also just kind of like completely distracting. Grady Hendrix doesn't take himself too seriously at all, but just writes really good stories. They tend to be a bit of a wild ride, so that felt like the perfect kind of thing to go to. So yeah, I listened to Witchcraft for Wayward girls. So in this story, it's set in the 70s, I think, in America, and it focuses on a home where girls who've got pregnant outside of marriage are sent to have their babies, and then the babies are basically kind of sold off or adopted by good Christian folk, as it were. So it's about a group of girls who are in this home, pregnant, waiting to have their babies, and they're not treated very well, as you might expect. And there's a travelling library that visits the home every couple of weeks, and it turns out, just so happens, that the librarian that comes with the travelling library is a witch, and she hands over a book of witchcraft to one of the girls, and so the story unfolds. It was exactly what I needed. The only thing I will say is it was a lot more serious than Grady Hendrix, that I've found other Grady Hendrix's other books. He writes women incredibly well anyway, but in this he focused on like a really important women's issue, and I've not felt that from his writing particularly before. And it was a good thing. You know, that's really wonderful. And my friend Rianne, who's also read this and is a Grady Hendrix fan, she pointed out that the horrors in this book are the real life stuff, whereas, you know, the horrors in his other books are vampires or ghosts or demons, etc. Whereas the horror in this book is very much what the humans are doing to the girls, and the way that they are treated throughout their pregnancy and through birth. Yeah, if you have any squeamishness or sensitivities around childbirth, maybe give this one a miss or at least go into it knowing that that's pretty graphic. Yeah, so it's an extraordinary book. He's an extraordinary writer, but it wasn't what I've come to expect from him. There wasn't the kind of camp humour. I missed that from this book. Like in My Best Friend's Exorcism, there's a group of like Christian bodybuilders that go around schools like lifting heavy things and talking about the virtues of the Bible, and they're just a real sense of like light relief in amongst quite a dark story. For example, I missed that in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I missed the humour, but it also probably wouldn't have been appropriate given the story. Yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was exactly what I needed in my ears, but it's not my favourite Grady Hendrix. I also listened to Throne by Sara Cox. This was actually a book club pick, and whilst it didn't go down very well with book club, I actually really enjoyed it. It's very easy reading, kind of slightly trashy, very undemanding emotionally and intellectually, so it was absolutely perfect for me in this current frame of mind. I suspect had I read this at another time, I probably wouldn't have appreciated it so much, but it was the right book, right time. So it's about a group of friends, no, not a group of friends, a group of people who go to a kind of community pottery class, and they've all got stuff going on in their home lives, and yeah, it's their kind of like backstories and their relationships with each other. There's a wee bit of romance, but I don't do romance and it was fine for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a bit of kind of like filler or a bit of fluff, I thought it was pretty good. And then when I was thinking, what do I want next? What do I need next? I turned to Becky Chambers and the Wayfarers series. So this is the second book in that series, A Closed and Common Orbit. I read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet probably this time last year actually, and absolutely loved it. And this is the second book in that series, so it doesn't follow directly from the first, but it does follow 2 or 3 of the characters from the first book, and it was beautiful. It was just, Becky Chambers just writes such beautiful stories full of humanity and love and acceptance. Yeah, her writing is just such a balm, and you sort of forget, it doesn't matter that it's sci-fi, you know, this is about an AI and like other aliens and a couple of humans, and it's not a distraction at all. It just serves the core story, which is always about those messages of love and acceptance and self-discovery and compassion, just all of that good stuff. It's just, her writing is just food for the soul. So I'm really pleased that I picked this up. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as the first book, but I did really love it. I still gave it 5 stars. It's really super. So I will look forward to continuing it on with this series at the right time. In terms of what I've been filming, as I said, not an awful lot. I was actually in the middle of filming a reading vlog where I was reading books with dogs in them. So understandably, that's had to go on pause while all this was going on. Couldn't bring myself to read books with dogs in just at the moment. But I will get back to that. It'll be a slightly weird vlog, I guess, because it starts off with both the dogs kind of running around and doing what they normally do, and then obviously the second half is going to be a bit different because Brennan is in dog jail in the kitchen. He's not allowed to be going on walks or running around or anything like that. So, but we'll work it out. I'll get back to it. I'll finish off the books that I'd started when the time feels right. In terms of what I've been watching, the things that I turned to whilst I was up in my sad Airbnb in Solihull were The Traitors. The Traitors UK has just finished its 3rd series. I watched the first series when it came out, and then I didn't bother with the second series. And I wasn't going to watch this most recent one, but it was like big chat in the office, and there's only 4 of us now. I've started a slightly new job. And there's only 4 of us in the office and everybody else was watching it, so I was like, okay, well, I'll join in. And it's been a great distraction. So yeah, the final happened whilst I was in Solihull, and then I went back and watched the whole of the second series as well while I was there. I was only able to visit Brennan for maybe like 30 minutes a day, so I had a lot of kind of spare time on my hands either side of that. I did work remotely for some of that, but not all of it, so I had a lot of time on my hands, so I watched a lot of Traitors. And I really enjoyed it. I don't think this is a spoiler, but if you're really concerned about spoilers, tune out for 30 seconds or so and I'll wave at you when I've finished saying this. But all I want to say is I think that the introduction of the seer in this 3rd series ruined it. I think that really spoiled the ending. I don't think having that was any benefit. I don't think knowing for sure that somebody else was a faithful would have been any better either, because if that was me, I'd probably just kind of vote everybody else out and just stick with the person I know is a guaranteed faithful, and then it's not really playing the game. You're not using your intuition and trying to discern what's what. Yeah, I think it was ruined. It was ruined. I hope they don't do that again. Anyway, spoilers over. The other thing that I've been watching loads of, and please don't judge me, but this is my comfort watch, and it's Criminal Minds. I have watched Criminal Minds from start to finish. I don't know how many times, so many times. And it slightly bothers me that a TV series about serial killers and violent crimes is my comfort watch, and I'm trying not to be judgmental about that, but it is. I just love it, and I can just watch it over and over and over again. I think, having given it a little bit of thought, I think it might be the consistency of the main characters. I think, you know, they don't tend to kind of act out of character. I know they all have their sort of like brief moments so that they've got a bit of storyline alongside the kind of, you know, crime fighting stuff, but on the whole they all stay pretty consistent. I suspect that's what it is. I don't know. You got any insights? Let me know. But yeah, loads of Criminal Minds, that's what's been soothing my brain. I had also taken a bit of a break from watching BookTube. I think maybe because I was feeling a bit guilty about not participating. I don't know what it was, but I have started watching BookTube again, and highlights for me so far are that I am delighted to see that Ben Reads Good has brought back the book news series, and there's a new video of that out. I will link that in the description below. It's wonderful and tells you all that you need to know, all of the what's what about what's going on in the book world, dates for your diary, awards stuff that's going on, pieces of interest. Yeah, no, it's really super, and it's a piece of content that you don't see everywhere. It's not something that everybody is doing, which I really love. The other thing that's very exciting is that Helen Gambarotta from Best Book Forward over on Bookstagram has started a YouTube channel. So welcome to BookTube, Helen. It's very exciting. She's just such a gorgeous person. She's been, actually that's something else that's really been helping through January. She's been doing a like a Beat the Blues January quiz over on Instagram, where she asks a question each day, and it was just, you know, just 2 minutes of distraction each day. I didn't get all the answers right by a long shot, but just such a lovely thing to do, and she's doing that for the community. She's just got such a big heart, big bookish heart. That's what we like, right? So please I will link her channel in the description below. Go and give her a follow. In terms of other stuff that's been helping, weirdly, one thing that I picked up, so whilst I was staying away, Duncan, my partner, really kindly, like I said, I had a lot of time on my hands, was saying, you know, go and treat yourself, go and get a massage or something, go and do something nice for yourself. And I just wasn't in the frame of mind to enjoy anything like that, so I didn't feel able to. But I did have a kind of like wander around the shops to get out and about, and I picked up a board game called Mycelia, and it was just delightful. It was a really lovely distraction. It was really quick and easy to learn. It has a format where you can play it solo. So whilst I was away on my own, I was able to kind of have a few games just in front of the TV. Okay, so it was quick and easy to learn, but yeah, challenging enough to be distracting. It was just really lovely. If you have played solo board games, or if that's a thing, let me know if you've got any recommendations, because I was really pleasantly surprised. I just saw it in John Lewis and thought, maybe I'll give something like that a go. And yeah, it was wonderful. It was absolutely perfect, and a real comfort. And it's really sweet because it's got mushrooms on it. It's all about like hero mushrooms who all have like different powers. It's really sweet. So yeah, let me know if you were a board game aficionado and you know of other kind of solo player board games that you would recommend. I would love to know if there are more out there. The other thing that has been an absolute lifesaver for somebody who has cried most days in the last fortnight are these gel eye pads from Lush. Oh, she's not a beauty influencer. They have these rose ones, which I've tried. They've got cucumber ones, They've got some yellow sunshine ones, and I haven't tried yet but would be really tempted by, they've got some that look like minion goggles. Which would be fun, but they're really lovely. So you keep them in the fridge, they're just jelly, what's jelly kind of consistency. Keep them in the fridge, whack them on your eyes for 10-15 minutes, and they are very, very soothing, and they smell lovely, as with all products from Lush. So they have also been an absolute lifesaver. And I guess the last thing that has been an absolute lifesaver is all of the really lovely support that I've had from my partner and from family and friends, but also from the community, people who I didn't want to like post loads about it because it, you know, it was traumatic, and that it didn't feel appropriate. Like, it's not, when something difficult is going on in your life, like, it's not content, is it? It's not, I don't know, I just felt a bit weird. But I did share what was going on at the point where things were feeling like they were going a little bit south, because I just wanted to welcome in any good vibes that people had to spare because I felt like we needed that. And I was overwhelmed by the support and the offers of, you know, sparing us those thoughts and good wishes, and it made all the difference. It really did. So yeah, if you saw any of that and you thought of us and wished Brennan well, then I'm very, very grateful to you. After all of that, I welcome you to take the deepest breath that you have taken all day, because God knows I need that too. And I'm delighted to be back with you all, and I will look forward to seeing you again, hopefully a little less weepy, in the next video. See you again soon. Bye.